All right, we're live.
Yeah, motherfuckers! Creationist Cat, Patreon, December, Christmas, fucking Kwanzaa, and what's the Jewish one?
Hanukkah.
No one knows
Hanukkah
how to spell it.
and Ramadan. It's all going down tonight, motherfuckers.
You forgot Diwali. No
What?
Hindu. No Diwali. No Hindus.
Fuck them.
What about Kwanzaa? You can't leave the blacks out.
I actually didn't even know that's what is it?
Diwali.
Kwanzaa.
Diwali.
Oh.
Bali.
Yeah, it's the light festival. Hindus.
Okay.
And you have Yuletide and the solstice for pagans.
Okay. All right. It's an all-inclusive Festivus. We're doing Festivus too. So yeah, party time, motherfuckers. We're hanging right now with Mr. Holden Cantrell. How are you, Holden?
I've seen better days.
Yeah. Oh man, that sounds grim. What is your full name again?
My name is my Google is Mikola Demikiev, but my YouTube is Kuma-sama. Mikola Demi. It's Ukrainian for Nicholas.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're here with Mikola, Holden, hopefully a few more. Not that you guys aren't like lovely company on your own, but
oh my God.
we want to make this more of a party.
We need gnats and girls.
Yeah, ladies, where are you? You got 3 fly guys. Oh my God, I can't believe I just used that term.
I know where there's one at. There's one up the road at the bar.
What? Oh yeah. Go to the bar and get that bartender that wanted that 56-year-old bartender that wanted to do me.
What was that about? I saw that you kept posting about Applebee's or something.
Oh, that's different. That's different. I'll tell you about Applebee's in a second. Let me tell you. 1 second. Are you going to join us? There we go. One more. I'm gonna. So yeah. Okay. I'd like to talk about the Applebee's, and I will talk about the Applebee's. I'm just thinking, like, maybe we should get a few more people in to, because that's. I actually think I'm going to make a video about the whole Applebee's debacle.
I followed your Twitter, and I saw it, and I'm like, what the hell did Vadim do? Was he getting drunk on cheap alcohol?
It's a yes, but it's a it ties into the drunken peasants, and there's a kind of it's a multi-pronged explanation that I need to give you, but
they still make fun of that, like just at random. You'll be watching their stuff, and they'll bring that up and just piss on you for like 2-3 minutes, and then move on.
Say that again.
I said they piss on you still to this day for that.
Yes, they do. Although
2-3 minutes, they'll just piss on you and then move on.
It's mostly the fans who do now. It all turned very like nasty around the time of the fucking hurricane, and I'll explain in a bit. It's actually like, well, I'm not that like. It's not like I'm ashamed of it, but yeah, that there are a couple things that I did that were not super cool, that I did under a tremendous amount of stress because I thought that my house was literally going to be blown away by a hurricane. And I don't even think what I did was that bad, although overall I regret it. The story will be told. I just want to make fucking sure. I'm sorry. I'm going to be a better host in a second. I'm just trying to send out a few more messages. Unfortunately, maybe I should have sent out a message sooner letting people know that we were, I need to fucking figure out how to set up these things myself. My friend Godless Engineer is awesome enough to help out every time that we do this, because I'm like, I have the technical savvy of a fucking like retarded sloth.
That's me. That's me.
That's you? Okay.
Yeah. I have friends. You should get friends, Vadim.
I have the technical savvy of a retarded sloth who has been beaten in the head with knee baseball. So
that's why you make friends, Vadim, so they can set up all your equipment and maintain it. and you pay them in cheap beer and pizza.
Okay, so where is everybody? Where are you? Where are you, fucking assholes? No, you're not assholes. You give me money. You're the best people in the world.
They can still be assholes.
They can. I'm the asshole.
We're all assholes.
Yeah.
It is hump day. It is hump day. They might be humping.
True. True. All right. All right, I'm going to send this message to... We're on, Susan. Woman hang. Yay! All right. All right, so here we are. 3 guys at the holidays. Just chilling and shit.
Are you gonna make another album?
I want to make another album. I really do. I have a few ideas, and I'm really, honestly, you see, those albums always take a while to create, and then, yeah, I'm kind of at the point where my Patreon is so low that there are certain kinds of things that I'd like to create that are harder to create. Like, it's harder to do what I call like the deep dive episodes. Like an example would be the 9/11 conspiracy video that I did recently with Sargon of Akkad.
That was a good one.
The Milo one, the one that was called Behold, the Future of Skepticism, that talked a lot about computing forever. Even to some degree, I'd say maybe the response to Bearing on the issue of gay marriage in Australia.
That was really good.
Those are all videos that not only are they kind of, by virtue of their length, somewhat difficult to create, time-consuming to create. There's also a lot of, and I think I talked about this in the video that I sent out, although maybe I didn't. There's a lot of fucking research that goes into it.
Yeah, you did mention that.
Yeah, and I take that very seriously. You know, I mean, there are a lot of CC videos that barely take any at all. Like literally some of the most fun ones are the ones that like require zero. But there are those, and I know that, you know, that the fan base likes those, and there's some patrons who are patrons of mine specifically for that content, and it kind of sucks, because it's like when I get to this point, like where I'm at right now, where I kind of need to boost my Patreon, I lose certain people who will like write and say like, hey, like, you're not making the videos like this that I, you know, and then that I kind of joined. So, you know, I mean, I don't lose a ton of people like that, but I've lost a decent amount, you know, like over the past few months. I've gotten like like at least 5 or 6 messages from people who told me that. And
I support whatever you do, Vadim.
Oh,
I really like the Rainbow Dicks with Elton John. There's your next song.
Right, right. Well, you know, we're going to. I, there is one that I really been wanting to make, which I've talked about. Maybe even you've heard me talk about, and I mentioned it a while ago. But it would be what was the name of it? The Creationist Cat sings songs about feminists, MRAs.
That was the album you wanted.
Yeah, something else, and other jerk faces, and you know, and the idea behind it. See, there's two reasons why I have kind of dragged my feet with that. Three reasons actually. One reason is the fact that honestly, like I said, it time consuming and kind of if like my Patreon was above 1,000 a video, then it would be kind of an endeavor that would pay off. So there's that, but then there's also the fact that you see this video would make fun of both sides, you know, kind of both sides. To tell you the truth, he would be making fun of like the the anti-feminists more than the actual feminists, because I don't think that there's a lot of that out there. And then on top of that, even though that I think that there are feminists and like things that have happened in the feminist community that are worthy of you know, of criticism, I genuinely these days have more contempt for people like Sargon of Akkad, for people like Milo, people who have, in my opinion, driven the whole like just made anti-feminism. And again, I want to say, like, you know, I'm not here saying like, yes, feminism is the best thing ever. But that being said, I think it's sometimes very good. I think that there are some very good feminists. I think that there are some feminist causes that are really worthwhile. And it's sort of like I don't look at things as that, like, you know, through this like, I don't know, extreme black and white, like, you know, one thing is so amazing and one thing is so shitty. One side is so shitty. Like I don't look at it that way.
You mean like a fundamentalist?
Yeah. Which is honestly the way that most people online approach feminism, at least the, you know, the anti-SJWs and stuff. So I like another reason why I have thought maybe I shouldn't make that video is because I don't know, I might lose a lot more subscribers, and I want to continue making. I do make content that causes people to unsubscribe often. And I do want to be someone who is not like unwilling to kind of speak his mind. But at the same time, I don't totally want to like shoot my nuts off, you know? And it's like, I mean, one of the songs that I could do like a pared down version that wasn't quite as like, you know, kind of risky, but I really like one of the songs that I really want to do in that would be Sargonian Rhapsody, which would be really great. I mean, like some of the lyrics are like, Sargon, ooh, he's totally full of crap. I can't believe people like this guy at all, you know. And but then, but then it would have lots of examples in it. I haven't written it. I just have certain parts. It would ideally have certain things that you know that call him out, and I just think a lot of people would like. On one hand, it would get a lot of. Maybe it wouldn't, but I think it would get some people noticing it. But I think a lot of people who really love Sargon, who have kind of like been on the like kind of teetering back and forth. We would probably, and then the other thing is that then there's going to be these other songs that could also piss off the feminists, or not the feminists necessarily, but just like SJWs in general, the who I feel closer to in these days, and in terms of like, if I had to choose one side or the other, I'd go to that side.
SJW.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of I believe in social justice. I just, it's just the whole preachy. The reason why SJW is kind of considered the kind of the epithet, if you will, that it is these days, is because of the whole warriorism. The whole aspect of it that is very preachy, and it's those damn fucking college kids who protest like Milo events and stuff like that, and their heart's in the right place most of the time, even when they're being schmucks, I think. But anyhow, yeah, hold on. Wait 1 second. Okay, we're gonna be joined by one person. Good.
I think my best advice I could give you about getting new subscribers is that what do a lot of famous celebrities, either musicians, writers, authors, do to get famous? They attack the people within their group that are already on top. You need to go after the big ones.
Yeah, but I've done that.
Down.
I've done that, and it's like, I mean, and I'll continue doing it. I'm going to be doing a video on Jordan Peterson soon, and
expand
and other people. But when you're not getting a steady influx of subscribers and fans who kind of are people who want to see that shit, you just kind of get drowned out by people telling you that you're being a drama whore and who don't get it, but
maybe if you expand your range of people attacking, because there are a lot of people outside the core demographic skeptic group who are, I think, inflicting more damage, I think, in the social, religious, political conscious than maybe the people you normally would think of.
Yeah.
YouTubers that are really hammering in, and a lot of them are younger, like even younger than me, and they're going to the next. It's not just the people like our age, it's the next generation who are also affected. Like when you were saying like the anti-feminist videos and all, I look in like a lot of different videos. I roam from video to video, and I see in the comments and like little kids that are picking up this rhetoric. So you need maybe go after, expand the range.
Yeah, I mean,
for the children.
You mean like 15-year-olds, trans kids in their bedrooms, like Milo, like that? Yeah, I'm not that. More like anti-SJWs. Oh, hey, is Pascal here now? Oh, yep, yeah, he is. Okay, awesome.
Hi, Pascal. Hey, how's it going? I just had myself muted as I was typing at the storm.
It's all right. So it's okay. We got 3 peeps. We were supposed to. There's one person who was really looking forward to joining us, and they're not here. So I don't know what's up with that. They strike me as someone who maybe might have some technical issues. So.
Just send them a DM.
Yeah, no, I did. And well, we'll see. We'll see. I hope he's okay. But yeah, man, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Things are pretty quiet around here. Getting in the lull before the Christmas holidays.
Sure.
So, how's everybody doing here?
Doing well. We're trying to make Vadim a good YouTuber.
He already is an awesome YouTuber.
To make him great again.
Yeah, I mean, I have to kind of see how things go. Um I I have, like I mentioned, some projects that I think might help the visibility of. I don't know. I'm hoping that if I continue, like if I both do more creationist cat chats with people who have the like fan base that I'd like to cultivate. I'm hoping that their fan base rubs off on me. You know, and I'm not interviewing these people specifically for that reason. I also find them very interesting, but you know, people like H Bomber Guy and whatchamacallit and ContraPoints. I'd like to interview Destiny, but I think Destiny does not like Creationist Cat, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah, you know, he watched it was funny. It was actually ultimately like it was kind of flattering because, well, I'll tell you why. He watched and for you, if you guys don't know, Holden and Kuma. What do you prefer?
Call me Kuma. Kuma is fine. It means bear in Japanese. There you go.
Right. So Destiny is this kind of in my opinion, badass debater. He usually tends to make mincemeat out of his opponents. He has a pretty left-wing slant to his as well. There are certain topics that he's a little more centrist on, but compared to you know the YouTube sphere these days, he's like a commie. He's not a commie. He's actually very into capitalism, but you get what I'm saying.
Like a communist.
Yeah, but no. So anyhow, this dude he's funny and he's a really engaging debater and he's just so fucking quick. He's the kind of guy who can kind of just rattle off all of these facts super quick and just retain just say them with like absolute precision. And like with me, like a lot of facts, I don't know. I usually have to make notes to if I'm going to get them my facts as like spontaneously out there as quick and as you know many of them as he does. But actually he was in the Hangout that you know the recent CC video with ContraPoints and Lauren Southern and you know the one that I drunkenly interrupted.
So he was one of those. Which one was he? I forget.
He was the one who he didn't have an his avatar was like a guy with headphones on.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
I was worried it was that one guy who purposely looks like a gnome.
No. That guy's a piece of shit. But Destiny is a cool guy. So anyway, I kind of bugged him to watch that video. And you know, I've been a fan of his for like a little while, so I kind of like kind of wanted. I didn't like go out of my way to make Destiny look awesome in that. I mean, I'm not saying I made him look bad, but there were a couple parts where like I kind of I don't know. I just was hoping that he'd take it like as a compliment basically, and anyway he like said, yeah, I'll watch it soon. And this guy, he's a gamer, right? And he does streams on Twitch, and he basically plays games and he'll watch videos. So he watched it on Twitch, and the motherfucker, okay, he watched it first of all at like 2-3 times the speed. Okay, so right off the bat, like he started out by saying something like, okay guys, we're gonna watch this, like and his audience like asked him to do it. He was like, oh, okay, guys, you want me to watch this creationist cat video? Fine. And before he started, he said like, now guys, this isn't really my humor, so here we go. And he plays it super fast, and that right off the bat really pissed me off, because he's a funny guy and he's not an idiot, so he should know that with comedy, timing is everything. So that, like, you know, if you play something at the speed, at a different speed than it was originally, you're not going to get most of the laughs.
Yeah.
So
I don't think Destiny has much of a sense of humor, unfortunately.
I actually do think he has a pretty great sense of humor, but he may be the kind of guy who, like, there are certain people who are funny, can be funny on their own, like in their own way, and then there are people who, you know, who are like that, who don't necessarily have like a great sense of humor, like their taste in humor is not like very diverse, and you know, like if they were to, like, if you were to try and get them to actually like be funny with scripted material or something like that, they probably like just fail miserably. But you know, and I'm not saying that he'd do that necessarily, but like, yeah,
Dunham.
I understand what you're saying. Like, you know, I mean, I'm not saying that the guy's fucking Don Rickles or anything, you know, but I think that there's, I mean, why don't you expand? I've been talking a lot. I'm going to tell more about what happened, but what provokes you to say that?
What his sense of humor?
Hello?
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, I was just wondering kind of if you wanted to expand on that at all.
Oh, his sense of humor?
Yeah.
Well, it's just like when I see him on a stream, usually he's the things that he laughs at is like dark humor kind of stuff and really memey shit.
Yeah.
He's not really the type of person to laugh at something that is thought out in terms of like comedy, like in a certain. It's difficult to sort of explain. Like, I see some really good, funny stuff that his audience provides, like in terms of donation messages, and like he's just like blank stare.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Well, he's, a lot of people say that he's autistic, and and when they say that, well, there are of course his like detractors who, you know, like will call anybody autistic that they think that they don't like.
It's the new retarded.
But there is something about him that like he might be on the spectrum. Like he seems kind of sometimes removed from his emotions in a really weird way.
Yeah.
Or in just a way that's out of the ordinary. But yeah, so he was watching what?
I'm not sort of like bringing that up as a character flaw. I'm sort of bringing that up just in terms of like what his comedic range is, so to speak. You know, like some people will look at Bridesmaids and they'll find it, you know, amusing. My comedy range is pretty much a lot like Destiny's. There's a lot of stuff that I'm not going to find appealing. But there is like some very niche things, like your content, for instance, and stuff like from Don Knotts and Tim Conway, and like the Marx Brothers, like that sort of hits the mark for me. But I think he's more in the range where it's like Schadenfreude, I think is big in Destiny's book.
Well, there's plenty of Schadenfreude in CC video.
Yeah, I know.
but you kind of have to, like, well, I'll kind of explain what I think is going on with him not being that into CC. I'm going to like explain it away. Okay, so he's watching this shit at like 3-4 times the speed, maybe not 4 times the speed, but it was fast. It seemed faster than double. And the thing is that he was still laughing. He was laughing way more than I would expect anyone to, like more than people should be laughing with it being played at the speed that it was. Because again, you play things at like a speed that is not intended. You're not really getting the whole. You're not getting the comedic timing. It's a completely different thing. Now there you can get the ideas behind the jokes, but still, like so he was laughing, and he wasn't just laughing because there were a couple points where he laughed where he was like laughing at the stupid shit that the people who he was in the hangout with said, but he was actually laughing at the joke lines, at the punchlines rather, and that's what was flattering, is that because to me, like the purest type of laughter is the kind of laughter that like you don't control, that it's just like you laugh, it's just a provocation. Maybe that's not the right word, but just it's a just an innate reaction, and he did that like a few times, and like after like the third or fourth time that he laughed, he was like, I don't know why I'm laughing at this. This is really and so I think like as I was watching it, I thought to myself, what's happening here? This is like, I used to do this when I was younger. Now these days, I'm the kind of guy who most of the time, not always, but most of the time these days, like I'm like humble enough that if there's like some like really kind of sort of cheesy song on like top 40 song playing that I like, when I was, what am I trying to say here? When I was like in high school, I'd hear certain pop music and I'd be a snob about it. And I'd kind of think like, this sucks. Like I even like I started doing that when I was young. Like I love Guns N' Roses now, at least Appetite for Destruction, I think is a great fucking album. But I remember when like Sweet Child of Mine and like Welcome to the Jungle got popular. That was like right around the time that I started listening to punk rock and stuff, and I was like, ooh, this is shitty. And the thing is, like, there was a part of me that really liked it and was like fighting against it, and so maybe I'm kind of over analyzing all this, but I think that that's what's happening with, like, I am kind of like an awesome, I'm not saying that all of Taylor Swift is awesome, but like I'm like a really good Taylor Swift song that like that like he hears and like he kind of has this gut reaction of like no, Taylor Swift sucks, I can't like this, and so I don't think he's seen much CC. He just kind of heard like probably watched like a few seconds, heard the voice, kind of made a very like quick judgment of what he thought that the channel was like, and didn't really investigate into it that much. That's my guess, because he just didn't really show any signs of like really understanding what the fuck Creationist Cat is. So then so he watched that and he laughed a bunch of times, but then he started playing it even faster. He played it so quickly that there was no way you could understand what the fuck anyone was saying. And then he did that for like 30 seconds, and I was just thinking like, why the fuck are you watching it like this? Because it's like literally like 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 chipmunk voices, and like it burned through like a minute in like maybe like 15 seconds or less.
Maybe he did it just because he thought so little of the suggestion, and he wanted to just like troll like to his fans who suggested it. Or
I don't think he was like trolling anyone. I think he just kind of like, I don't know.
There are some people who will do that just to be like, oh yeah, I did this to this video that I was
that might be it. That might be
that's what I mean by trolling. Just do it just for the sake of doing it.
There's some people, but then here, just to finish it off, yeah, then he stopped it right at the point that I came in, and he didn't even like see any of the part where I came, and the part where I came in, like I wanted him to watch the part with him in it. So I'm gonna go on one of his streams, and because I've been wanting to for a while, but I'm gonna make him watch the part that he's in, and it might be a little. I don't know. I don't want it to be awkward. I'm gonna tell him like that I really dig what he does, but I'm gonna be like, dude, that was lame. You know that was lame. I don't know. Like we'll see how it goes. Wait, what did you say?
Nice people.
Look at it this way. Destiny's holding like this contest right now on his Reddit where he has like a specific composition. He's getting a bunch of people to put in work and compete for like some sort of a prize. And when he's listening to like people's compositions on his stream, he does the exact same thing. Like he will just like skip through stuff. Like I don't think he has just sort of like that framework that you should put some time into like what other people have put effort towards. And look at it this way. If I'm looking to create content that's going to be entertaining, I'm going to be going to you. If I'm looking for trying to frame a sound argument, like versus a specific position, I'm going to be going to Destiny for that. I think
you're a creationist cat for no. Yeah, well, yeah, no, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I think there's one thing though with you, Vadim and CC. When you make a point, the way you present it is kind of like when George Carlin or another comedian would make a very sound judgment, but you do it in a way that like will get people who know what the hell you're talking about. So it's not that niche. Like if they are familiar with the topic, you make a point. It may not be like polished, but it gets across. So
yeah, I mean, it's not.
You're like the cool professor.
I understand what you mean. I think maybe when you say polished, do you mean more? It's not. Like there are a lot of arguments that Creationist Cat makes, which he makes through innuendo, through he doesn't come out and say what unless it's Jerry the Gerbil, Jerry the Gerbil, or and myself. Like I'm kind of like Jerry the Gerbil is probably the biggest voice of reason on the channel these days. But yeah, Jerry the Gerbil will voice opinions exactly the way that I would voice them. But I understand what you're saying. I think, but I would, the way that I look at it is that it's polished. I'd like to think
in a different way is what I mean.
Yeah, it's just not straightforward. Yeah, exactly. It's like often the ideas presented or just the overall point is kind of wrapped in it's a little bit of a puzzle. You have to kind of like look at it and think about it more to kind of get the point. And you're right that with certain people, I mean, I think that there are, it depends on the video too. I think that there are people who, depending on the person, the topic, and a bunch of other things, there are certain videos where someone doesn't have to agree to still get it, but definitely if one is familiar with the topics that CC is talking about and all those other things, then yes, I agree that like it's easier to kind of get the point behind it.
I meant by polish is like there are some videos people go to get lectured at.
Yeah.
That like they get told to be presented with the information you're told. But by polish, I meant like you're not like that. You're like the cool professor who has people think about things.
There's one video that I'm going to do in the next few months, and I'm trying to figure out like timing wise what would be the best time to do it. Which is I want to make my Kilroy. You guys know what the Kilroy event is?
Yep.
Yeah, I know you do, Pascal.
Not at the moment. You need to tell me.
Okay, so the Kilroy event is this thing that's going to be going on in April that is mostly a lot of centrist and I would say right-wing oriented YouTubers, anti-SJWs, anti-feminists, a few people who don't explicitly identify as such, but mostly people like that. Like, I'd say that the most left-wing person who's going to be there that I know of right now is TJ the Amazing Atheist. Although the guys from the Mythicist Milwaukee are also going to be there, and I don't think they're like right-wing friendly in that they appreciate Sargon of Akkad, but I could be wrong. My take is that they're somewhat left-wing as well. So with the exception of those people, as far as I know, everybody else, I mean, there are people who are there who are like pretty fucking alt-right, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say, if TJ's like the closest thing to a left, I'm like, that's pretty far right.
Yeah, especially when the most left-wing person there made a video asking his fucking followers to vote for Trump, then that's
it was Trump, I guess.
Yeah. So Kilroy is this free speech event where it's happening, I think, in Arizona or no. Do you?
Yeah, it is Phoenix, Arizona. I think.
Phoenix,
oh
Arizona.
My God, that's like the rightest place in America.
And and it basically they're going to be talking about a whole range of issues, but they said that they wanted to get people who were like political progressives and SJWs and feminists and whatnot to go there in order to kind of like broaden the discussion that's occurring, to like, you know, have actual debates with people with, you know, contrasting ideas. But the thing is that most of these people are total shitlords, you know, and I don't doubt that they want to have those people there, but I totally see why most people would not want to either like spend, because you're going to spend a few grand to get there, you know, but both traveling back and forth, hotel, the ticket.
Unless you live there.
What's that?
Unless you live there.
Yeah, unless you live there. So that's going to be a costly expense, and I'd actually like to go, but it's like I'm not. If I was making, you know, maybe like, I don't know, a few more thousand a month than I am, then I'd pay for it. But it's like I could either spend an inordinate amount of money that I kind of need to save, or like I did think of doing a crowdfunding thing, but it's like I'm gonna go there. There's a potential to get dogpiled, which I'm not that worried about. But there's that. And then it's like I'm going to be there for this really short period of time. And on top of that, I probably, like, I'll probably only be on like one panel that may not even be an hour. And I'll be like one of several people. And this is a conversation that I potentially could have if I wanted to have it in fucking, you know, online for free. And I'm not going to get out of it what the majority of the people who are there are going to get out of it, because most of those people are part of a community of shitlords and anti-AWs, you know? And so that's a better networking opportunity for those people. So it
could make you nefarious, though.
What?
It could make you nefarious as one of the dissenters That if you make something very passionate,
no, it could.
All publicity is good publicity.
Right. Well, see,
That's
this
how
is
Trump
what.
got elected.
Yeah, I still would like to go, but it's like the thing is that like when it comes to the crowdsourcing thing, it's like there are other things that I think I'd get more mileage out of by crowdsourcing, and like I might need to get more some technical equipment this year, and I'd like to go to VidCon. And for me, like I don't want to be the guy who like crowdsources thousands of dollars several times in one year. I don't want to do that. And especially since I've never done that before, and I don't even know how successfully I would crowdsource to begin with. So yeah, I'd still like to go, but I'm kind of thinking that's probably not going to happen. Anyway, sorry that I've gone on about this for a while, but the whole reason why I brought all this up is that I want to make a video that would be my speech at VidCon, and I'd make it look like I was actually at VidCon, and Creationist Cat is like at a podium, and he like brings me out on stage, and I'd probably have like an audience like cut to an audience of people like maybe I'd get like the Academy Awards or something, and then I just put like all the YouTubers who I know are going to be there, like TJ, like Sargon, like I don't know, some black guy and Bunty King and people like that. I just put their heads over the heads of so it looks like those people are all in. And I'd like to make like a 25-minute video where I just like call out the worst shit from the people who happen to be there. Like there's this one guy, Luke Rudowski, who is a 9/11 truther, who is so I mean, like I'm not even going to start listing the ways that this guy he's a con artist as far as I'm concerned. And then you just got really what I'd want us to kind of focus on is kind of because I know that they're going to be talking about fake news, and in my mind, a lot of these people, more than almost anyone on the internet, really kind of fuel the how can I say, like they really fuel the like what the fuck am I trying to say here? They really fuel the
mythos.
No. They really hinder, I guess I should say, the effort, the pursuit of truth. I mean, by kind of these are people who, by and large, not all of them, but a good deal of them, like perpetuated the Donald Trump fake news meme. Like they'd say that like CNN is fake news, yet they'd literally, like in the case of Dave Cullen, have a conversation with Paul Joseph Watson of all fucking people from InfoWars about fake news on InfoWars. You have Sargon of Akkad, who like was on Steven Crowder talking about fake news with James O'Keefe. And I don't know if you know who James O'Keefe is. James O'Keefe is like just one of like the worst bullshit artists out there. And and I could go on and on about this. I'd like to make that video, and I'd make it like very humorous and whatnot, but it would be like as if I'm there at Kilroy telling all these people off to their faces.
You should make another video like kind of like your 9/11 one, but of how the skeptic community has with adopting a lot of this, like the what are really conspiracy theories and a lot of this like fake news, because I know a lot of people say like the modern myths in America, there are two of them, instead of like like how we used to have like previous legends like Paul Bunyan and all. We now have superheroes and we have the conspiracy theory. So in a kind of way, a lot of fundamentalists. So like if you might have grown up like Christian, a lot of people take that belief and that devoutness that they had before one lie and they put in another myth, like conspiracy theories. And there's definitely an overlap. So I could see you definitely having a lot, like just talking about that. Like, because I know you've talked about where the skeptic community is headed, but I don't want it to be one where it's all this nonsense of like conspiracy theories and all like that. Like that's you need to be the warning guy. You need to be the bard of that.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to make. I'm not sure if that's a video that I'd make on the Creationist Cat channel, but I've always wanted to kind of make a video that kind of, because I do firmly believe that, like within the next several decades, at least in American culture and probably the Western cultural and culture in general, I think that conspiracy culture and religious culture is going to intersect more and more. And in a way, like, there's an argument to be made that religious culture is kind of conspiracy culture. There's a lot of similar kind of fallacious ways of thinking and kind of like, just logical fallacies that are very common to both sides. And there have been studies done that show that if one has propensity to believe in religious bullshit, that you're very open to conspiracy theories and vice versa. And but the thing is with, it's exceptionally difficult already with this, a book like the Bible. Or, I mean, in some ways it's difficult, but what I mean, it's easy to point out the bullshit in the Bible. But what I mean by it's somewhat difficult, it's just such a large, it's a huge text, and there's all these different ways to interpret it. So there are all these kind of like semantic games and just like weaselly ways that people who are, proponents of religion, it doesn't matter if it's Christianity or fucking Islam or Scientology. There's a variety of ways that people can kind of like baffle people with bullshit. But conspiracy stuff, I think, is even more difficult to tackle because so many of the claims aren't even confined to any sort of books or any sort of like rigid. It's really just the wild west in terms of like claims, because people the people who adhere to these claims don't really need much in the way of evidence to persuade them. So you can make these like outlandish claims. I mean, fucking Trump can say so many things and people will just buy it without any sort. And I'm not saying that like, I mean, Trump is definitely a conspiracy theorist, but I'm not saying that he's like the most outlandish guy out there. But I think you guys understand what I'm saying here. Like,
yeah.
Get a little like kind of all over the place here. But yeah, I do think that that's what's happening. And to me, it's just it's really terrifying, and it's because it's like we have right now both an internet culture that is taking the like skepticism, the thing that was supposed to be the watchdog for bullshit like this, and they are becoming the figureheads of the bullshit. And it's like when you have that going on, coupled with this massive distrust of conventional, of big media, of like mainstream media. And don't get me wrong, they deserve lots of criticism for all sorts of things. But, like calling CNN fake news, straight up fake news, that's bullshit. I mean, maybe if you apply that to like one or two subjects here and there or like the statements of a particular person who happened to get something exceptionally wrong, but kind of treating institutions like that as like generators of total nonsense, basically treating them like they are InfoWars. That's just, it's really dangerous.
I had
it's
one
entirely predicated on cognitive dissonance. Like they'll prop up somebody like Ian Miles Chong, for instance.
Yep.
And his articles and all of his stuff when they're completely intellectually bankrupt. They're not backed up by science whatsoever. And you point this out and people don't seem to have a problem with it. Yet you go to a mainstream media organization like CNN, ABC, whatever. The second they get something wrong, and they will because they're human beings, they'll just, say, you see, this is why I don't trust MSM.
Yep.
Which basically negates all of the journalistic integrity that they've had. And I've seen pieces from various parts of these institutions that are phenomenal. Like the New York Times, if you ever look like at a deep dive in terms of investigative journalism, it eclipses anything out there. But they're going to focus on the one opinion piece that comes out from that institution, which is just doing so because it has to compete with all these bloggers out there.
Yeah, and half the time when they like make a big deal out of some opinion piece, they're not even, they're straw manning the idea behind it. Sometimes there's just like a sensational, headline, and if you actually read the content, it's understandable, like, but they don't go any further than that. And it's very easy for them to tweet that out and say like, look at what this fucking libtard said. And there's that. And then another common thing that they do, although this is something that you see more with conspiracy theorists, but you do see it with conventional people as well. What they'll do is like when some sort of event occurs. This really is more of a kind of a conspiracy theory thing. But when an event occurs that that they have a lot, that's like like a shooting or something like that, something that has a lot of writers or reporters there quickly on the scene, and the facts of the case are not immediately discernible. Really, like the facts are up in the air, and they're trying to get the best kind of lay of the land from like authorities and whatnot. They'll often like report something and it'll be incorrect. It'll be incorrect because they're rushing to get the story out. There's that demand for the news with like, the news cycle that we have. It's just, it encourages people to say things before they know what the fuck is going on. So people will latch on to that and they'll like say that those are huge mistakes. Sometimes people will use it like, conspiracy theorists will use things like that to kind of make the case that these events are staged.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make sense, but
well, a lot of news institutions are biased, and I think that if you then realize, oh hey, this institution is more, corporate, they want this, they want that, they want to go with this aim, that what's the next step after bias? Well, then after bias, it's propaganda. What's the next step after propaganda? Well, then it's just what would literally be in this, in scenario would be fake news. Yeah. So it could be more that people think, oh, it's so biased at that point, the way they're, and institutions do present things in ways that are lies, that the information itself may not be a lie, but the presentation is, which at that point,
the worst things that occur sometimes is with these, and I guess maybe I'm excluding Fox from this. Fox is not nearly as bad as your InfoWars, but they're not nearly as good as your CNNs and your MSNBCs and ABCs. and stuff like that. Not that those are, but that those are excellent news sources by any stretch of the imagination. But what was I going to say? That like with those sources, I think that the worst that they do is sometimes like a politician or someone in the like political sphere will make a claim that they do not apply enough kind of skepticism to. I probably the best example of that is during the lead up to the invasion of Iraq. There was not enough. There were people who did kind of say like, hold on now, like fucking Saddam Hussein had nothing to do with 9/11. And there were those people who were pointing those things out, but there weren't enough of those people who were like, there were a lot of people who just kind of like let your Condoleezza Rices and your Dick Cheney's just kind of make claims without really without the adequate pushback. And that's, I think, what they're the most guilty of when they're at their worst. That and also just overall kind of ignoring things that should be stories.
Yeah. Which is biased. I mean, but
yeah.
Then we have had in American history literal wars fought over fake news. I mean, 1898 we went to war in Cuba because I don't know if it was the New York Times at that time, but they posted, may have been the Miami Herald, they posted that the Spanish blew up the Maine, which there had been explosion. It was probably the engine that blew up. And we went to war with Spain because we wanted to take Cuba and Puerto Rico over anyway. We had our interests anyway, so they used an excuse. So that was literally fake news that happened. So we've had major incidents that were drummed up. The Gulf of Tonkin incident.
Yeah,
played up.
The Tonkin incident is kind of, if you really read into it, it's not quite what conspiracy theorists make it out to be.
But it also wasn't really what it was reported on as either.
It's not nearly as bad a thing as people like try and find, because that's a big, and you know what, I wish that I kind of remembered exactly what the kind of the sequence of events was, because I have read kind of like more skeptical accounts of what occurred. And that Gulf Tonkin is one of these huge incidents, or not huge incidents, but incidents that conspiracy theorists love to point to in order to say, like, that we can be duped by these small things. And they kind of like that's often an example that people use to kind of justify 9/11 being an inside job. And the Gulf of Tonkin, though, aside from the fact that it's not exactly the way that people kind of, it's not all that it's cracked up to be, that did occur.
It did happen, yeah.
It did occur at a time when we didn't have the internet, when we didn't have just both the sort of technology that can so easily shoot, like, now everybody has like cell phones, everybody's on Twitter, you can leak information to places like WikiLeaks and similar places. And I think that a huge conspiracy these days is practically, I mean, nothing in this world is impossible, and you can say that, like, practically impossible, but for the most part, like, I just don't think that those things can kind of take off, because at the end of the day, there's just so much that can go wrong. And like, if you look at all of the things that the Trump administration, okay, granted, there are a bunch of fucking buffoons, but there's never been an American presidency that was really good at keeping secrets. Like all these things leak that they don't want to leak. And a real hardcore conspiracist would say, like, no, they want those things to leak. They're leaking things so that people think that there's no way that they can keep secrets.
They plan around the plans. They are planning around.
Yeah, yeah. But is there something you wanted to say, Pascal?
No, he's on the thing. He said he'll be right back. So
okay.
Probably went to get a beer or something.
You want to say something, Holman?
No, I'm good. I don't have no idea what half the stuff you're talking about is. So
I'm sorry. Maybe I should make this a little more accessible.
The Gulf of Tonking was.
Well, no,
Okay.
I'm looking it up over there. I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I go over here and I look at. Oh, okay. I don't keep up on that kind of stuff. So.
Right.
Robert McNamara, the Secretary of Defense at the time, he later did a documentary before his death, The Fog of War.
Yeah, that's a great documentary.
Yeah, and he basically was like, yeah, I kind of played that up a little bit to kind of get people to go to the war.
Right, but he didn't say that he outright lied about it.
But the information, the way it can be presented, can get people a certain way.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
because like at the time, that would be the equivalent of an American battleship malfunctioned in the Korean, like off the Korean, coast. Yeah. And then someone said it was the North Koreans. They did it. And it was like, oh no, our, destroyer or whatever just malfunctioned or whatever.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, look up the War of 1898. People don't talk about it. That's why we have Puerto Rico.
I will.
That is why that is a colony. And that is what it is. We just give it fancy words nowadays.
Guys, will you do me a favor? I want you. Well, did either of you guys go? No, I'll just ask you. Did either of you guys go to the Teespring to check out the new CC stuff?
Yeah, I had to see what it was. What was added? What changed?
So my question to you is, did you realize that there was a second page?
No, I only seen 3 things. I looked, I was like, there can't just be 3 things. I did not see a second page. I tried to find a second page. I didn't see anything.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, I seen there was 3 things. I'm like, no, there can't just be that. I mean, you said you added this, and that. I was going to write you and say, dude, there's only 3 things there.
Well, no. Well, when you say 3 things, you mean 3 new designs, right? Like you saw.
No, 3 things, period. That's all. That's it. I mean, I'll look right now. Hold on. I'll tell you exactly what I see.
You only saw 3 products?
Yes. I'll tell you what they are. Hold on. Of course, my shit's going to crash right now.
I got 4 more than 3 products. The last thing that I see on my page via Google Chrome is the Burn in Hell folks mug with the Partying in Heaven CC style right before that. And I just noticed page 2 at the bottom because I kind of have my contrast like really high. It's a little difficult to see. That's not something that I'm
looking it up right
where
now.
Was there.
Yeah, fuck. I should have said in the video, and make sure to look at the second page.
You can put the page 2 in the comments section probably.
Yeah, I guess I should do that.
Just go like page 1 of merch, page 2 of merch.
You mean I should? Oh no! Wait, do you mean give the link to it?
Yeah, well, where you have it right now, you have the Teespring.
Yeah.
Link Teespring available just in time for Christmas, and right below it just gives you the one link. So just go page.
Yeah, unfortunately, no, it doesn't work that way. I've tried it. If you take the link to the second page, it just takes you to the first page.
Really?
Yeah, try it. Try it yourself.
Let me post the link that I have. Click on that and tell me what you see.
All right. Where is it? Oh,
it's in the comments, the group chat.
Yep, it's just the first page.
What the fuck?
You might have to.
I'm on there now, and
what?
And now it's changed. Now I see a whole bunch of stuff, and it's not the same page. Now I see at the bottom there's 2 pages.
Ah, so do you think you would have seen that? Because
dude, it's totally different. None of this was even here the last time when I went here before. I went here last night because I watched that video and I was like, oh, you got some new stuff. So I went and I looked, and there was nothing. There was no banner, no headline, no nothing. It only half the stuff was there. Now it looks normal, and there's a whole bunch of stuff now. It's way better than it was last time.
Yeah, there must have been some sort of glitch. They wrote to me saying that like there was a problem with my page and that they apologized for it. So when you say last night, you mean because of the tweet that I posted?
No, whenever that last video you posted, you said there was some new stuff, some new designs. I'm like, okay, so I went and checked it out. It's like, hold on, I'll show you.
I just went on it. Did you fix it, Vadim? Because it's all up there.
Yeah, see, he was having the same thing. So yeah.
Because I just did it right now, and everything's there now. But when I originally...
Oh, my God. That's...
Yeah. Okay, if you look at mine, see, now it's normal. This is how it's looking on my end.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Night, you see right here, it just said creationist. It had nothing was there, no cat. This banner, none of this was here. None of this was here. All I seen was probably... I didn't even get this. I got nothing. I got, like... almost nothing. Everything was totally different.
I'm getting the redirect to page 1 with that link as well. So
yeah, so this is what I'm seeing right now. So now it's up like it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also using Chrome, so it's coming up the same for mine.
Yeah, I was using Chrome last night as well because fucking Firefox has screwed me in the ass more than once, and I'm done with it.
Good old Internet Explorer too.
Yeah, IE's no better.
So I guess maybe, I mean, I don't know how to say it without like sounding really like awkward, but yeah, the next video I make, I'll have to like tell people about the products again and say like, hey, and don't forget there's a second page, you know, because I think a few people told me that they didn't realize that there was a second page there. And
what you could do though is like put a screenshot, like show your products going down, and then show how to do the second page. You kind of show what it should look like, because I was expecting exactly what was just there, and then whenever I went there, I was like, this is fucked. There's something wrong, because I mean, other stuff that was there before is gone. Everything I was like, I know you didn't pull everything and just replace it with this, so something was fucked.
So Kuma, it was like that for you too when you checked it out earlier?
Yeah, I just did it right now, and everything's up just fine, like what he said. There are sometimes, even before this video, I've had issues going into your Teespring.
Weird.
Like, just over periods of time. Different points. But it's all good from my... I mean, I guess if you... Well, is the link you sent out in any of the messages this exactly verbatim the same as what was in the video? Because I just looked from the link in the video.
What I do is I go to the bottom, I go to the Christ box, and then I just click on the Teespring.
That's what I just did, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I do 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, that's what I did, and I was like, okay, well, let's just go there, because I don't want to fucking type Teespring. I just go there and hit the link.
Yeah.
So
sometimes sometimes when I'm in Teespring and I look up Creationist Cat there, I get like 4 products just instant, even if they're like older ones.
Oh, you may not get that anymore. Oh, shit. You may not get that anymore because maybe you will. Let me know if you do. Maybe I should just go ahead and check it because that's that is something called like boosted like fucking I don't know, like
Because we just did that.
yeah, what you just got an ad for it?
Well, no, I went on Teespring and I just like in their message box did Creationist Cat, and I got like 6 T-shirts that were related to you, and also a lot of unrelated material.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that like maybe I misunderstood you. I thought you meant like that you were on another site and you got an ad for it, because I like today usually I get like a certain profit that from the shirts, and it was like less than half of my usual profit. So I was like, why did I get that for that? And it turns out that I clicked this thing that like they advertise the shirts. They do like targeted advertising like on Facebook and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And but the thing is that if people click on that and buy it through that means, they take like more than half of your commission, which is already more than half of like they already get more than half. So they're getting like 75% of it that way. And I actually like wrote to them, and because I didn't realize that was going on. And I was like, what's up with this? And they explained it to me. And I said, with my mugs, you know, I only get I get far less for that. So are you telling me that if somebody buys one of my mugs through your you know, this program, that I don't get any money for it? And they were like, yeah, that's what happens.
Oh my gosh.
So I kind of discontinued that. And like I thought to myself, like maybe there's a few sales that I wouldn't get otherwise, and maybe I'd be making a little extra. But I think it's more likely that fans of Creationist Cat, people who will see those ads and buy stuff, I think those are people who, like, you know, they know what Creationist Cat is. They're more likely to like visit the Teespring through suggestions in my videos.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm making less money that way. Sorry, this probably isn't very interesting for me to talk about.
Go to like a cat convention and have a cat like a vending stand. Like there's a cat con in California every year. Do that.
Yeah, I wonder. The thing is that people would probably think, who don't know a fucking thing about it, who's passing by the you know, the booth, they'd probably all think that I'm some crazy like actual Christian.
Yeah.
So,
there is that kind of a theme and iconography going on in your mouth.
Yeah.
Well, there are people who go to like conventional and they have like a vending of like have you ever heard of the counter monster people? They believe that Monster is the 666. And they'll have a stand selling all Monster products. But
okay.
They'll tell you that it's devil worship. So it's like counterproductive.
Cool.
So I don't know if you'd be like that.
I'd like to see that for myself.
There are videos of crazy people. They do it. Or they'll take Monster cans and they'll remove the middle S and then sell it as well. I've seen that.
You know, one thing that I'd really love to do, I mentioned earlier how I wouldn't, like, I'd rather crowdsource something else that would be like, I don't know, either more fun, or that I just get more mileage out of in terms of like being able to make Creationist Cat videos out of it, and kind of just it being something that would be good for CC and my career, basically. There's this thing coming up in, I think, August. It's called Conspiracy Cruise, and it's an actual cruise that's for several days, and it's all like conspiracy theme based. You know, it's all like 9/11 conspiracists and chemtrails idiots and stuff like that. And I'd really love to go and interview people and just kind of, I don't know, I feel like I could make like a mini documentary about it. I don't know how it would work into Creationist Cat, but I'd really love to fucking go to that shit. What?
You're kind of isolating yourself on a boat that's surrounded by a body of water too. So
yeah,
they could just like, you know, make you walk the plank if
they realized what I was up to. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Hey, question real fast. Who writes the descriptions for your stuff for sale, you or them?
I do.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I like the pillow.
Oh, what does the pillow say?
The pillow, you'll probably burn in hell, but you don't have to sleep like hell. I found that pretty funny.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
right there. I was just kind of, I seen that. That's a new product, and I seen the description. I'm like, that's actually pretty funny.
Isn't that cool? I want to get one of those. I
think it's pretty neat. I think it's something else my girl's gonna want because she loves the mug. She has that little pink cat mug, and she loves that. So she'll love the pillow.
Sweet.
You'll compete with the My Pillow guy.
My Pillow? What's the My Pillow guy?
He's like, this is the My Pillow made right here in Minnesota. Those other pillows, they don't do nothing. This is made right here because I'm an American. My Pillow.
I've heard the My Pillow is fucking excellent. I got rid of an awesome pillow that just I think it was just dirty and like underneath the what you call it, the pillowcase. It was like dirty.
All the drool and slobber.
I just thought like I should probably throw this thing out because it's probably just fucking has more germs than I could realistically like neutralize. But I haven't been able to find a pillow. Like I bought like 3 pillows that I thought were going to be like compete with it, and just now like they're all either like way too firm, way too. This isn't very interesting to talk about. I do this a lot where I kind of like start talking about things that just like are not conversations you should be having on a stream. It's like
pillows are fine. You can always have a cat as a pillow.
That's true. That's true.
Do any of your cats sleep with you?
Yeah, the majority do, but I kick them out a lot because they have certain nights where they're well behaved, and then other nights where they're just crawling all over me, and I don't sleep well as it is. So, but Cortez is usually the one who's the most well behaved when I'm sleeping.
I would not expect that.
Yeah,
I think he would be knocking over shit and everything.
Yeah, he kind of is the spazziest one in other ways, but like he's respectful of my sleep. Wizard, he's a new guy. Wizard is pretty like he'll just do. I'll usually have to kick that guy out. He likes chewing plastic. So he'll find like garbage bags, and all of a sudden I'll wake up hearing like some crinkling, and I try to kick them out half the time when I'm going to sleep, but then they hide. There's a lot of shit in the back, and they run and they hide, and it's almost like a drill. Like they know like, oh, this is the point where he's gonna kick us out. So yeah. I wanted to say, just so you guys know, right now, my friend Godless Engineer is he's probably going to come back around 9:30. He's the guy who runs this, helps me post the Hangout. So around 9:30, he's going to come back, and we're going to wrap things up around then. So just
no problem.
But yeah, any other stuff you guys want to bring up in the last few minutes that we have?
Yeah, like I said, maybe a new antagonist for Creationist Cat called Determinist Doge.
Oh, right. I think, I think I'm going, like I said, I'm going to continue kind of making my way into the videos. I'm going to try and like maintain the kind of sense of humor that I have, but like here and there kind of interjecting with some like real, like, I don't know, some real criticism, some like things that are like a little more grounded than, I mean, the video will still like videos will still be ridiculous, but just maybe a tiny little bit more of a lucid opinion. Oh, and also another thing that I think is going to happen in 2018, we'll have to wait and see. But I think CC might start going back to doing atheist-related stuff a little bit more of the time.
I like it when you pwn atheists.
Yeah, there's probably going to be some of that. One of the reasons why I kind of stopped doing that is because when CC first started, for the first several years, I really had a pretty favorable impression of the majority of atheists on YouTube. And there's actually a good deal of good ones still, but they're not the super popular ones. And now it's like, a lot of the people who CC started pwning, I really either have huge problems with, or I think that they're assholes. I think Sarah the Cod is a horrible human being.
I know you did it to the ground, but all your Steve Shy videos, when I'm sad, I look at your Steve Shy videos because those are amazing. And especially when you're just like, that is the butt ugliest lamp. And you just do like little just non sequiturs. And you just go after the guy.
Yeah.
And you tear him down. And the whole, what really, I love what you did was what you did with Adi, with his cat in that 3-part series. That is the funniest shit I see for a while. Just a crazy. Do you ever just go back and watch your old videos and just like compare and contrast?
No, I don't. I mean, every now and then there are a couple that I look at. I'll be honest. I think that this is a very natural thing that a lot of performers have. I'm usually like whether it's Creationist Cat or listening to myself as Vadim being interviewed in like a hangout, or like, just I cringe a lot. Like, it's really hard to like and I'm not saying like I can look at the stuff and I can think like there's a part of me that's like, no, wait, that's funny. Like that's not bad. But there's just I'm a very, I guess, a lot of people who go into comedy have like their insecurities, and I just have to like be honest that it's tough for me to look at like once a CC video is like 1 or 2 years old, I look back at it and it's just hard. Like within a month of a video being up, or even within a year, I can look back and kind of not have that quality. But eventually, for some reason, I don't know, that's just usually what happens. There are some, though. There are a couple that I like think are so that I don't have that with. But I think the oldest CC video that I really love is this one called Richard the Dick Coughlin's Minion. Something like that. There was this guy who didn't have his he thought Creationist Cat was 100% real, or I mean like he thought that I was like an actual creationist, and he thought that I was like for real like an anti-Semite and a sexist. And this guy was he seemed kind of like on the spectrum. Like he seemed like he must have been both autistic and maybe even like a little retarded or just very low IQ. And CC made a video about him, and that to me is one of my faves. Like that would be in my top 5. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I don't go back and look at the stuff, but I think I'm still proud of it. It's just hard for me to like look at my stuff. Like if I was in a fucking Martin Scorsese movie, I would still have that same thing where I would like look at like I could be in, you know, Raging Bull, and I wouldn't be able to watch myself in it because I'd like be like, oh God, oh no, that's me. Oh God, no.
I mean, there is value in self-reflecting, but at the same time, the past is the past for a reason, and you need to go forward.
True that. Were you going to say something, Pascal?
Oh no, I was just gonna ask another question.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, how did you land the Amazing Randy?
Well, a friend of mine who is actually a patron who was supposed to be in this hangout and she's not, was at a, I guess it was the American Atheist Convention or something like that, and she asked on my behalf. And he said that he would do it. I don't know if he knows anything about CC. I think he's just very giving with his time.
Yeah.
And maybe, you know, her recommendation sealed the deal. And I need to get in touch with him very soon because that's like, because that was several months ago. And he agreed to do it, and I'm sure that he'd still do it. But I mean, he's one of my heroes, and I have to. You'd think that I would like get on it, but I've been like trying to like figure out like what the jokes would be, and you know, and I just need to go ahead and fucking do it because, I mean, let's just, you know, I certainly hope that he's going to be around for decades, but the man is getting up there. So, you know, I actually did watch. I've been meaning to. You mentioned the documentary. What is it again?
Fog of War.
An Honest Liar, I think.
Maybe? Yeah, An Honest Liar. And I've been meaning to see that for a couple years. An Honest Liar is a documentary that is actually on Netflix, which you know is amazing. That is about the Amazing Randy. And who, if you don't know who that is, he's kind of this very, he's kind of like in a way, like the godfather of skepticism. He is just a really influential guy in the world of debunking, and he has a really amazing life, and he also, more aside from just what an interesting life he's had, he also has this like just he's driven by the pursuit of truth, of like kind of just exposing bullshit artists and stuff like that, and so he's a pretty inspiring guy to a lot of people for that reason. And yeah, sorry, I'm getting a little sidetracked here.
Hey, Vadim?
Yeah.
Godless Engineer says he's about ready to end your stream here. So.
Oh yeah, you could do that. All right. Well, thanks, guys. I think that we'll still the four of us can chat real quick after this is over. But if anyone's watching, thanks for joining us. Sorry, I got like a little kind of out of it. Like I'm very tired right now, so I'm getting less articulate as the night wears on. But anyway, later, and have a great Christmas if we don't do another hangout before then.
Merry Christmas.
Later.
Happy Hanukkah.